In the past, we have reviewed the side trunk fridge, we've reviewed the sub trunk fridge, and today we're going to be completing that circle with the back seat fridge that also heats. Now, I partnered up with Tylard to make this review, so I need you guys to all help me out. As we go through this video, go down below into the comments and let me know what you do like about this fridge, what you don't like about it. When most people watch a review video, they go down in the comments to see what everyone else is saying anyway, so thanks for the help. And this is how this video is going to go. First, we will take a close look at the fridge, then we will go into all the specs, then we'll talk about some of my concerns, followed up with 10 seconds of me begging you to like and subscribe. We'll go and install it, we'll test it, and then we'll talk about my conclusion at the end. Alright, now let's take a close look at it. So on the top, you have a digital display that we'll go over after we get it installed. Apparently it only displays Celsius temperatures, so I'll have to convert that. Below you press the big button to open up the fridge door, and inside you get a tray, a little bit of a wiring harness, as well as a couple tools. The door is not spring loaded, so you do have to press the button while pulling from the side, but it feels natural. The door does feel solid and has soft open and soft close features. It is made of plastic, so it's fairly light. Now on both the front and both of the sides you have ventilation to keep it cool. And on the back it has all the clips we're going to need for installation. Also the side panels are a textured plastic that's going to both match the OEM look of the Tesla as well as keep the little scuff marks and dirt marks a little bit less visible from shoes. So now this works with the Model Y 2019 through 2023 models. It has a capacity of 4.6 liters. Now as far as temperature range, I'll put it up here on the screen for Celsius, but in Fahrenheit, which is the only thing my dumb brain can understand, when it's on the cooling mode, it goes 17.6 degrees Fahrenheit to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And in the heating mode, it goes from 50 degrees Fahrenheit up to a whopping 130 degrees Fahrenheit. It has 30 watt power consumption and is a compressor fridge with the sound level of 35 decibels when it's running. Now, every time I do something like this, I get asked, how much is this going to actually drain the battery? How is this going to affect the actual range of the car? You're going to pretty much see no difference in the range of your car. Unless you drive your car from 100% to zero every single day, you're going to see very, very minimal drain on your battery. And this runs off the 12 volts in your battery, which is constantly being recharged by your main battery inside of the car. However, if you want to leave this on when you're at work or something, it's going to shut off when the car goes to sleep. So what you will have to do is put your car into camping mode in order to keep it running. So let's say you're off playing pickleball and you're going to be there for an hour and a half and you want to always have a nice cold drink to go back and get from your fridge inside of your Tesla. Just put it on a camping mode. Every time you need it, just go grab one out. It's going to always be cold. But it's only 4.6 liters, so it's not like you're going to be putting groceries in there or something at work and then taking them home after. But there are just a few concerns that I'm worried about. First, my kids rest their feet right there all the time, even though I tell them not to. So how will their feet and shoes be on that little display back there? Will they be turning on, off the heat? Am I going to get a boiling hot 130 degree Fahrenheit pop when I want a cold one? Now they've addressed this by having something called child lock back there because they probably figured every kid does this, but more on that later. My other concern is, will this take up too much space? Tylard claims that it doesn't take up any more space as far as it's the same as the width of the back of your seat in most cases. But the reality is it used to go under, so it is taking up foot space. So the question is, how does it affect a kid versus an adult? And yes, it's only 35 decibels, but is that too much? We're going to answer all these questions here shortly, but first, if you enjoy watching these videos and you want to support the channel even the smallest way, even though I know this is so annoying and creators always ask you to do this, please go down and hit the like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. And I know this is doubly annoying, but please go down and subscribe so you see when my future videos come. And while you're doing that, let's get on to the install, because this is actually really simple and should not take you more than 15 minutes. Start by moving up both the passenger and driver chair. Next, use a provided plastic pry tool to remove the lower panel. And if this is the first time you're pulling it off, don't be afraid to give it a good pull. It can be kind of stiff. Next, go up to the top ventilation cap and give it a good pull on both sides and it'll pop off real easy. Be careful when you remove that though, because you're going to need to remove the USB power clip currently connected. Just lift up that little black tab and pull. It'll come off easy. From there, grab a T20 screwdriver or use a provided tool and remove the two screws at the bottom of the long panel. To remove that long panel, just grab it from the bottom and give it a little bit of a tug. It has 6 clips in it and they come out pretty easy. Next, grab your fridge and remove the wire relay that's inside of it. Take the black male end attached to the car and connect it to the female end of the harness. Next, take the white male end from the new wiring harness and connect it to the white female end of the fridge. Leave all the wires on top and out of the way so you can easily push the fridge back into place. The idea here is to line up each of the tabs that should be exactly lined up with your car, and then just simply take it and push it straight back into place. I did find I had to lift it a tad bit to get it into place, but all the tabs were lined up. Now, even though this step is very simple, I did have to try 2 or 3 times to get it into place. Next, grab the upper vent cap you removed earlier and connect the remaining male black connector to the female connector on the vent. This connection is what powers your USB-C ports. Now just tuck in the wires, line up the clips, and then just push it right back on. It should go on very easily. Now, like I said, if it all goes smoothly, it should take around 15 minutes. Next, I checked the temperature, which was about 86 degrees, which was also the temperature that it was outside. At the same time, I started my stopwatch because my goal was that I would check it in 30 minutes and see what the temperature was, but I didn't quite make it that long. We'll circle back to that in a minute. I love how the interface is very simple. The snowflake means that you are in cool mode, and the 3 squiggly red lines mean you're in heat mode. You set your temperature with the negative and positive buttons, and remember, this is Celsius, and when you remove your finger from those buttons, the temperature will flash and eventually stop flashing, and that's when it has locked or gone into child lock mode. If you tap anything on the panel, it's still not going to do anything, which is the sole reason why it may survive the back seat of my car. In order to unlock it, you need to take your finger and hold it on that percentage symbol for like 2 or 3 seconds, and then it unlocks and you can then make adjustments. You also switch between heat mode and cool mode by holding on that percentage sign as well. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want the unit to stay on, you either need to go to the climate tab on your app and turn on camp mode, or do it on the front by going into your climate control and on the right side tapping camp mode. Now, my other concern was space because there's now only 9 inches between the back of the fridge and your seat. But what I quickly found was that when I was sitting in a comfortable position, both of my feet were well to the sides of the fridge, so that really wasn't an issue. Now, most children are not going to have an issue fitting their feet in front of the fridge if they did want to put them there, but an adult with, say, size 12 feet like I do, it's just a little bit too small. But speaking of small, what exactly fits inside of this 4.6 liter fridge? Well, I think most of us can understand what fits in there. It's about the size of a decent lunchbox, which means you can fit all the same things you could fit in a lunchbox: a sandwich, a drink, maybe a Tupperware with some leftovers from last night on the heat function. But I easily fit in 4 pop cans or 3 different water bottles, which is more what I would be using it for. So as I mentioned earlier, I got 24 minutes into waiting for the fridge to cool and decided to go in and check it early. I was actually shocked to see that it had gone from 85 degrees down to only 15 degrees Fahrenheit. That's not bad. And I have to say that the noise was not a problem either. Even though they said it was 35 decibels, it's a constant noise, so your mind is not picking it up as something that's annoying. It certainly would not bother you if you and someone else were having a conversation. I would guess you probably wouldn't even notice it. But here's an example of the noise using my very sensitive DJI mic. Now, that doesn't really tell you much because that's all you're hearing in your ears, but it might give you a sense. So then where does this fridge fit in terms of usability? Who's buying this? For me, this fridge is for the person that's in their car a lot. With the previous 2 fridges that I've reviewed, you had to get out of the car and access your trunk in order to get anything out of your fridge. But this one is entirely different. You could be driving with both eyes on the road, reach back there, just grab one real quick, grab a drink, whatever, out of there, close it back up. No problem. You don't even have to have long arms to do it. And because of the big button in the middle, it makes it very easy to access and get something out. But like all these fridges, they come with a pretty steep price of $520. But of course, that's before my discount. So right now you can use my code, you can get a discount. And I believe right now there's actually a sale going on depending on when you watch this video. So I'll put that all down below in the description. So if you're interested in this product, as always, I'll put the links down below in the description.